The Cavaliers have lost 4 of the last 5. They just beat the Jazz today. They lost to the Suns, Kings, Clippers, and Magic. Not great. Are you worrying at all, Riv? 4-game losing streak. They're compared to Boston. Boston has not had a 4-game losing streak in how long, Dels?
It's been years, multiple years.
Yeah, and after each game, the Celtics lost last year. What was the sentiment, Dels?
Oh yeah, season's over. Not a contender. They'll choke. They'll never win. The regular.
So maybe the Cavaliers can learn something from that, right? It doesn't really matter. What do you think, Riv?
Listen, I'll say this. This team has went on 3 separate 13-game win streaks. I don't think 4-game losing streak is going to hurt them. It shouldn't. I think they've shown all year that their mentality has definitely changed. They've built this set of toughness in their minds. The continuity has been there all year. Even with DeAndre Hunter, it's felt like they haven't really missed a beat. So I think they're going to be fine. I think, you mentioned it. The Suns game, you just caught Kevin Durant on a bad night, and he had a masterclass, 40 points against you guys. The game against Orlando, they had that game and just completely choked it in the second half. The game against the Clippers, once again, came down to the fourth quarter, and they just fumbled it up. Clippers went on a bit of a run. So, really, you should have beat Orlando. And, the Clippers game in LA, you're on a roll. You should have beat the Kings too.
Why wasn't missing that game? Not
Yeah, so you should have been 2-2 in the stretch. You ended up going 0-4 in that road trip, but you bounced back against Utah. With Cleveland, I just want them to, for me, like what to really put this 4-game losing streak in the mud is if they just go on another streak. Just go on another win streak to show that they bounce back from things like this. And because remember we saw last year before, prior Cavs teams with this core been a bit soft. They haven't shown that same toughness. So what would move me is if they just go on another streak. That'll show they're in a different mindset.
The only thing that I really want to talk about when it comes to the Cavaliers is Donovan Mitchell struggling really badly. In the month of March, he's taking about 8 threes a game. He's shooting 18%. He has missed his last 13 straight threes in a row. He's shooting 33% from the field in total, averaging 21 points a game. He really has been struggling this month, especially in this losing streak of theirs that now has ended. Even still tonight, just looking at the box score, we'll watch this game a little bit later, did shoot 39% from the field, 0% from 3. So again, we know that the Cavaliers are still overwhelmingly better than a lot of the teams that they're going to face. It's just that Donovan Mitchell, their best offensive player, is struggling right now. And it's funny because, again, last month he was so excellent. You asked him to, we called on him to be better. He was 49% from the field, 38% from 3 on 8 attempts as well. He's just struggling in March. That's really all it is. I think that once he gets back to playing normal basketball, the Cavaliers will be back to playing their normal brand of basketball, which has been the overwhelming dominance that they've shown for 95% of this season. It's nothing to worry about. But again, it's one of the reasons why they've been on this minor skid. And if it were anybody else, we could be concerned. Like if Garland was struggling, if Mobley were struggling, because they are younger in their career, especially come playoff time, we'd be a little bit more concerned. But Donovan Mitchell goes through a rough patch and he's bounces back just like that because he is so great. We know that he'll be great. But again, that's one of the main reasons why they've been on this little skid of theirs. And if he's back, you don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be worried at all. I wouldn't even have 1 ounce of worry if I'm a Cavs fan. You got to think, like, this was a couple of weeks ago. You're up like 10 games on Boston, 11 games on Boston with a month to go. There's just really no need to press the gas, right? And I get it. You don't want Donovan Mitchell missing 13 threes in a row. You don't want him shooting 30% from the field in all of these games. And I feel like Donovan Mitchell, just like the Cavs, has such a huge track record of being great that he's fine. And the biggest difference between the East and the West is really that first round matchup where it's kind of like a tune-up series, right? In the West, it's like, damn, the 2 seed might have to go up against the Warriors, right? The 3 seed might have to go up to the Warriors. In the East, the Cavs are going up against the Magic. The Cavs are going up against the Hawks, maybe the Heat if, they win a couple of games where you could kind of treat that series as like, this is the time where we need to turn that switch, where we need to get into playoff mode. It's a luxury to have, but it's just the truth in the East where if you struggled the last few weeks of the season and you're a top contender, it's really only relates to Boston and to Cleveland. If you're one of those top 2 teams, how you finish the last like 10 to 15 games of the year really doesn't matter. Of course, you want to win. But by the way, Boston is 10-1 in March, 20-5 in the last 25 games. They're starting to figure some things out. But for the most part,
You're the one that said the season was over.
for the most, and I told you, I need them to go on a run. They went on a run. That's all I asked for. But I think Cleveland's been so damn good. They've had, like we mentioned, multiple win streaks. They've been so dominant, so historic that you can't look at this little 4-game losing streak, even though it's fun to joke about. They're so good. They're going to breeze through the first round. They'll probably breeze through the second round. And then we're sitting the ECF against Boston to see what they're made of.
As somebody who is actively rooting for them to get to 70 wins,
Really?
I've been heartbroken that they are not going to get there no more. They went on so many different win streaks. I thought that they were just easily going to go on another one, rattle 10 straight, and then be right there at the marker. Because before that, they only had 10 losses. So I thought they were going to get really close. And I wanted to see them be overwhelmingly dominant. I guess the question I keep coming back to is, do I think Donovan Mitchell can really be the player that gets to the NBA Finals, being the engine of the team, beating Boston? That's what I keep coming back to.
Last month. Yep. There you go, Riv. There you go. There you go.
And I don't think he is. I just don't. I have to sell myself on it. That's why I cashed out, Riv. That's why I said, you know what? I can't. I trust Boston. This is really the biggest reason why Cleveland to me.
Say it again.
You could just replay this, brother.
Say it again.
I don't trust Donovan Mitchell to be the main engine to get to the NBA Finals if he has to play Boston. I don't trust him. I'm looking at the Cavaliers in the month of March, late April too.
He's done.
They have had multiple comeback wins, which speaks to their resiliency. It speaks to how they can win in multiple different ways. But was it kind of alarming that they were down by almost 30 to the Celtics to start off that game and they needed a miraculous comeback? I kind of felt like it was. You know, I feel like as of recently, they put themselves in a lot of holes that they try to dig themselves out of. And for the most part, they've won those games. And in the 4-game losing streak, those were ones that they weren't able to fully fulfill and have a successful comeback. I still think they're a great team. And I do believe in them, but it's just, do I believe in them as much as Boston? And I feel like with Boston, as much as Tatum has his inefficiencies, I trust Tatum more in these big time moments. I trust Jaylen Brown in these moments. You know, I do. I trust Derek White in these moments. If KP is healthy, I trust him in these moments. Drew Holiday, I think he's going to play excellent defense in these moments. With the Cavaliers, I feel like I'm left questioning, how will Jared Allen perform in this series? How will Darius Garland perform in this series? And Donovan Mitchell, he's averaging a career low for the last 5 seasons. And I know he's taking a back seat, but I don't know, man. Like, we're comparing them to Boston. And I don't know if Mitchell can get it done. Maybe he proves me wrong and he elevates to being in that tier. But if you ask me today who I trust in the playoffs more, Donovan Mitchell or Jalen Brunson, even, I trust Jalen Brunson more. I just think Mitchell is surrounded by more talent around him, but I think Brunson is better in the playoffs than him.
Mitchell is averaging, was it 36?
Stop, Del. Stop. Enough. Stop.
I don't.
Stop. I've let you do this. It's
your fault, Dave. It's your fault.
You do this thing. You love to do it where
I'm out.
I'm
done.
Don't stay in 10. That's just not your
it's
DNA.
Your fault. You allow this.
First of all, fool.
I'm out.
Let me break something down to you.
I'm in. Open the door.
You questioning Donovan Mitchell.
You're going to allow this? This is the shit, man.
Bro, you questioning Donovan Mitchell against Boston has shown you haven't watched a Cavs-Boston game in like 3 years. Because if you watch Donovan Mitchell versus Boston, he's actually better against them than Luka is against them. That's how good he is. A lot of people are better against than Boston. Like the same team your fanboy struggled against, Donovan Mitchell destroys Boston. So for you to say you don't trust him against them, I feel like that's kind of crazy.
It's not against them. It's just in general. I don't think.
I'll let you ramble for 30 minutes.
Say this sentence. Say this sentence over Say it
out
back
loud.
and tell me if you believe it. Donovan Mitchell can lead his team to the NBA Finals. Do you
Donovan
believe in
Mitchell-
that sentence?
Donovan Mitchell can lead his team to the NBA Finals because his team is great and he has help. Also, he's doing his thing too. They're a great team. They're an elite
I
team.
just can't buy
From
into
top to
that
bottom.
fully. I can't buy into that fully. And Mitchell could play great. I'm still questioning Darius Garland in that series
You
on
should.
both ends.
You should. Listen, if you want to question Darius Garland, that's fine. He hasn't shown you anything in the playoffs. If you want to question Evan Mobley, I don't know. I thought he played great against Boston.
I think he'll be fine. I love Mobley.
I thought he played great given the situations that he was out there, essentially by himself. You want to question Jared Allen? That's cool. I don't. That's fine too. Jared Allen. I don't have
stray.
Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about Jared Allen. Just Jared Allen is Jared Allen.
The numbers always look good when something's not really on the line. Let's be honest. When the Cavaliers played the Celtics in the second round last year in the playoffs, nobody really thought the Cavs had a real chance. Donovan Mitchell played
last
great.
year's not this year.
I know, but I think this year with expectations, Mitchell, I seen him with expectations. He laid an egg against the Knicks. That's the last time I seen him with real expectations.
He's talking.
He didn't have expectations to get out the first round last year.
He played great, but it's the Magic. I mean, come on.
The
Magic were an elite
They're
defense.
an elite defense.
I know, but I'm saying I'm saying last time I seen him with real expectations against the Knicks, and he folded.
No. You can't just make up expectations. He had real expectations last year.
It went to 7. That series should have never went to 7.
The Magic were a good team.
Should have been a 5-game series at most.
You know what? You're a funny guy because you just put money.
They had Garland, Mitchell, Mobley.
You know what?
And I took it out. I'm done.
You're right. You know what, Drew? You're right.
Thank
You're
you.
right.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
You're right. Yo, stay where you at. Stay where you at. You don't even if you listen. Boston's a great team. That's gonna be a juggernaut. That's the only team we have to worry about. We're not worried about your Knicks. I'll tell you that. Tell you that for
we're getting healthy at the right time. You better be worried about the Knicks if we're getting healthy at the right time.
You saw the last 2 games we played against y'all? 40.
In the regular season
40.
matchups.
40 points. 40 points. 40.
Now, Dels, if
down
on FanDuel, if the odds weren't minus odds, I might think about sprinkling some cheddar on the Celtics right now.
But no, win the chip.
How about you put some money on the Knicks to make it? How about you do that? You worry about this money with these other teams. Put some money on New York, man.
You're lucky that you're taking advantage of Jalen Brunson's injury right now. He's going to be out another week, and this is when you choose to talk. It's very telling.
Y'all were losing before that.
Riv, 5 games between the 1 and 2 seed. I'll be honest. I want y'all to have the 1 seed. I don't want to play the Pacers.
Look, he's scared of the Pacers, man.
Scared of the Pacers. Like, this is a world we live
Who
in.
gave us the best series last year?
Talk.
The team that didn't win. That's actually funny as shit.
The Cavs, when Donovan was healthy, were giving you the best series.
He was nervous.
Game.
It was 2, and he had 35 both times.
Yeah. He won
Jaylen Brown was guarding him.
Jaylen Brown can't guard Donovan Mitchell, unfortunately.
None of them can. Silly goose. But Joel doesn't believe anymore. He's in a different mode. He was on Cleveland last month. Before that, he was really on him. Then he's just now all of a sudden
I think what's the funniest, Rib, is that he was in on Cleveland. He watched Boston go up huge. Cleveland made an insane comeback, went bar for them down the stretch. Given Boston didn't have KP in that game. Can't forget that. Didn't have KP in that game.
That's important. That's important.
It definitely is because KP's been amazing since he's come back from this illness. But he watched them go band for band with Boston down the stretch on the road and have an insane comeback. And I get it though. It's like
it's not sustainable.
But Drew, Dels, after that game, he was like, you know what, my fault.
No,
still Cleveland.
Yeah, Joel,
he waited a month.
Sustainable.
He waited a month.
I don't think Cleveland's going to be down 25 often in that series. You know
No, I don't
mean?
think so either. But I trust the
game.
Celtics more in those late moments. I do.
No, I'm with you. The way if we have KP, man, I feel really good.
If we have everybody, I feel really good.
If Donovan Mitchell once again just turns into 30, 35, he keeps doing it against Boston, it's gonna. They need that version of Mitchell, and if that version of Mitchell shows up, we're having serious conversations about him.